Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Several Man United players feel misled by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after broken promises he made to them during the summer. That's coming from ESPN. Now there's quite a lot of players that don't get in Manchester United's team. You know, Dean Henderson doesn't get in goal now because De Gea reclaimed that number one spot back. Henderson's only been in goal for one game this season. That was West Ham in the Carabao Cup. At one point Henderson was out with COVID for a while. At one point though last season he got the number one jersey and he did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. Before the start of last season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with the club, so reflecting on that he committed his future to Man United. You've also got Tom Heaton that doesn't get in there. Obviously we brought Tom Heaton in as a backup. To Tom Heaton's credit, he did very well throughout pre-season, before the start of the Premier League season. We got Tom Heaton on a free transfer from Villa. He signed a 2-year contract with Man United with an option of a further year. Diego Dalot, he's another one that doesn't get in the team. Dalot will only play when Wan-Bissaka is not available. Dalot is our backup right back to Bissaka. In some of the games Dalot has been involved in though, he's done well. Last season Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that he gained some experience. We got Dalot 3 years ago from Porto. Manchester United paid £19 million for him. Eric Bailly, he's another player that doesn't really get in the team. He lost his place in the team a while ago, obviously with the signing of Raphael Varane in the summer transfer window. And Solskjaer prefers Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly. Don't ask me why, because Bailly is a far superior centre-half to Lindelof. Bailly's made 3 appearances so far this season. He played in the 2-0 defeat to Man City before the international break and he was horrendous against Man City. Man City's first goal came from an own goal by Bailly, but it wasn't only the own goal, his overall performance was poor. I was shocked in that aspect because Bailly put a very good performance out in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. He made some good interventions and some good blocks. And he played well against West Ham in the Cup earlier on this season. Yes, I think Bailly will be leaving Manchester United next year. My concern about Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect is a liability. Towards the end of last season, he signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. Bailly's been at Manchester United for like 5.5 years now. Man United paid £30 million for him from Villarreal back in 2016. We brought him in under the Jose Mourinho era. You've got Phil Jones. He's another one that doesn't get in the team. I think Jones will be leaving Manchester United next year. At one point, he was out with a knee injury for a while. He made his comeback from injury in that behind closed doors game against Burnley earlier on in the season. Phil Jones is the only outfield player that Manchester United have still got since the Ferguson era. This season is Jones' 11th season at Man United, so he's been a very long-serving player. But I would say he's always been inconsistent. Telles, he's another one that doesn't really get in the team. Telles will only play when Luke Shaw's not available. Tellez obviously had to come on against Man City to replace Luke Shaw because Luke Shaw got a concussion. Tellez nearly conceded a penalty against Man City. I think he's a good left back, Tellez, but I haven't had much of a perception on him at Man United. But in some of the games he has been involved in, I think he has been consistent. Earlier on this season he was out with injury. The reason we brought Tellez in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. We got Tellez for 15.4 million from Porto last year. Donny van der Beek, he's another one that doesn't get a lot of game time. And I've said Solskjaer should be starting Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League, because he's a good player. Van der Beek came on against Man City and he made an impact. He also came on in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta and made an impact. So that just proves how good he can be. He's leaving in January. Van der Beek has confirmed that. Prior to the Liverpool game, Solskjaer made an admission regarding Van der Beek. He said Van der Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. Well, he did mention earlier on this season that Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer. He's endured a difficult 19 months at Manchester United. This season is his second full season at Man United. We got him in a deal worth 40 million. With add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Lingard, he's another one that doesn't really get a lot of game time. You know, he's made a few appearances this season. Lingard could be leaving Manchester United for just 10 million next year. Well, it's better to cash in for Lingard in January rather than let him go on a free transfer next summer. Earlier on this season, Lingard rejected a new Man United contract offer because of two players. But he has been part of the club for a long time. He's risen up our academy. Last season, he endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. West Ham wanted him in this year's summer transfer window, but West Ham were struggling to meet our 25 million asking price. Juan Mata, he's another one that doesn't get in the team. I can assure he will be leaving Man United next year. His contract at Manchester United expires next summer because earlier on this year, Juan Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. I can't understand why we extended his contracts for the further year. But I think Juan Mata's had a good career at Manchester United. He's made over 200 appearances in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. Being a very long-serving player at the club, he's been with us for 7.5 years now. We got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014 for 40 million, brought him in under the David Moyes era, and at the first part of last season, he rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Amad Diallo, he's another one that doesn't get in the first team. He has made a few first team appearances and revert back to what I said at that point, he did look a good asset for the first team squad. I expected Amad Diallo to play a lot more than he has done because Man United got Amad Diallo in a deal worth 37 million with add-ons included. Man United paid like 19 million up front. And Martial, he's another one who doesn't get in the team. I think Martial will be leaving Manchester United next year. Martial just come back from injury not so long ago. He's not good enough to represent the club. Martial's enjoyed one good season, and that was his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. Before the start of this season, it said Solskjaer refuses to sell Martial as he remains part of his plans. Solskjaer seems to have a lot of trustworthy in him. That explains why Solskjaer gave Martial that number 9 shirt. Man United got Martial in a deal worth 58 million from Monaco back in 2015. Martial's been at Manchester United for 6.5 years. He's got 3 years left on his contract. So, a lot of them players I've just mentioned to you, they're the ones that feel misled by Solskjaer. Now, like I updated you yesterday, the Manchester United board have not yet made a decision on Solskjaer's future. Solskjaer expects to be in charge for the game against Watford this weekend. Yesterday, Fabrizio Romano came out and said that Manchester United want to continue with Solskjaer for as long as possible, with a view to assess the situation in the summer. Revert back to a couple of days ago, it said Manchester United reportedly made a final decision on the future of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It says Man United are now committed to stand by Solskjaer until the end of the season. And reports last weekend said senior stars want Solskjaer sacked. That was stemming from Duncan Castles. Last week, like I updated you, reports were circulating out saying that Solskjaer is waiting to be sacked after leaving Manchester, because last Monday Solskjaer flew back home to Norway with his family. Solskjaer is losing the players, he's also losing the fans' support. A lot of United fans have said that if Solskjaer cared about the club, he would resign. But he's not going to resign, because obviously he doesn't get paid anything if he resigns. And he refused to resign after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. If Manchester United decide to sack Solskjaer, they'll have to pay Solskjaer $7.5 million. In the summer, he signed a new 3-year contract with an option of a further year, and we certainly made a mistake giving Solskjaer that new contract. And a lot of Manchester United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Ole should have been sacked after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. If we'd have sacked him after that 5-0 defeat to Liverpool, I can assure that Manchester United would have got Antonio Conte. A lot of Manchester United fans wanted Conte to get recommended in. Obviously, we can't get Conte now because he's Tottenham's manager. He said after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool that Solskjaer had been given 3 games to save his job. And he only won one of them 3 games, beat Tottenham 3-0, drew 2-2 against Atalanta, and lost 2-0 to Man City. But Solskjaer is under pressure, following back-to-back home defeats to Man City and Liverpool, and Man United have only won one of the last 6 Premier League games, and at the moment Man United are currently sitting 6th in the Premier League. I hope we don't have to stick with Solskjaer until the end of the season. He's been given long enough now. He's been in charge of Manchester United for almost 3 years. I think Zinedine Zidane or Brendan Rodgers will replace Solskjaer at Man United. Now, recently I've been talking with you a lot about Zinedine Zidane. Talks are ongoing between Manchester United and Zinedine Zidane. Zidane's close relationships with Ronaldo and Varane could persuade him to join. Ronaldo's already made it clear that he wants Zidane at Manchester United in 2022. Obviously Ronaldo knows Zidane well because Ronaldo played under Zidane when he was at Real Madrid. But I do reckon that Zidane would be the man for Manchester United. Because I think Zidane would get us back to that level where we should be at. He'd be capable of winning trophies at Man United, and he would get the best out of these group of players. Zidane's got that big club arrogance. Zidane is managerless because he left Real Madrid in the summer. You've got to admire though what he did at Real Madrid. He won quite a lot of trophies at Real Madrid, so reflecting on that, he's got a good pedigree behind him. Zidane though has not yet managed in the Premier League, so it would be good for him to come and experience the Premier League. There has been reports though before saying that Zidane is not interested in the Manchester United job, and he's currently enjoying life away from football management. But revert back to earlier on this season, reports from Spain said that Zidane rejected the Newcastle job as he's waiting for the Man United or France job. And certainly my preference would be Zidane over Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers apparently is more likely to become the new Manchester United manager than Zidane. Rodgers is the favourite to replace Solskjaer at Manchester United. Recently, Brendan Rodgers was house hunting in Cheshire. Apparently Rodgers has already verbally agreed to become the new Man United manager, but his preference would be to wait until next season. Rodgers is reluctant to leave Leicester midway through the season. The Manchester Evening News said, was it last week, that Man United are ready to trigger Brendan Rodgers' contract clause if Solskjaer gets sacked. But Man United are confident that Brendan Rodgers will be their next manager. If Rodgers came to Manchester United, would he be capable of winning trophies? Would he get the best out of these group of players? Would he suit the trappings of the club and all of that? I don't know, but one thing I do know is that he's a far superior manager to Solskjaer. You've got to admire what Brendan Rodgers has done at Leicester. He's transformed Leicester. At Leicester so far, he's won the Community Shield in the FA Cup. And he's been in charge of Leicester now for almost 3 years. He's got a contract with them until 2025. Other managers have been mentioned as well, not only Zidane and Brendan Rodgers. Pochettino's been spoken about a lot. Pochettino is considering returning to the Premier League on his next job. Pochettino has a full season left on his PSG contract. Ralph Rangnick's been mentioned a lot. Romano gave us an update on him not so long ago. He said that Manchester United turned him down. The other week there was narratives coming out saying that Ralph Rangnick could become the interim manager until the end of the season. And Erik ten Hag's been mentioned a lot. I presume there's quite a lot of United fans that would like to see him come in. He's done well at Ajax, he's won quite a few trophies with them, he's been Ajax manager for 4 years, but apparently Erik ten Hag is reluctant to leave Ajax. But revert back to Solskjaer, if Solskjaer does get sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson, because Man United have already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. Of course, we all wanted Solskjaer to succeed as Manchester United manager, but obviously he's not going to. Solskjaer's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. I feel as though that the expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager. And I just think that he's in a position that he shouldn't be in. At the end of the day, we all adore Solskjaer, reflecting on what he's done for the club, because Solskjaer is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. Ollie had a proven pedigree when he was a player, because he won a lot of trophies, didn't he, as a player. But unfortunately, he has no proven pedigree as a manager, and that is a concern. And the reason Solskjaer's lasted as long as he has done is because he's a legend of the club. Disregarding being a legend of the club, I think he would have been sacked a while ago. Obviously, Solskjaer's tactics and his team selections and that have been questioned. So, yes, he's partly to blame for some of our poor performances, but you can't just put all of the blame on Solskjaer. There's also players that have to take responsibility for those poor performances. This moment in time, the club from top to bottom is in a predicament. And the way to get out of this predicament is to get a change of manager, and structural changes are also needed at the club. And obviously there's still deadwood at the club as well that we need to offload next year. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United it was going to be a massive job. Not only that, he knew it was going to be a difficult job as well, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Solskjaer's managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. He got the job on a permanent basis, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. Now, don't get me wrong, there is positives regarding Solskjaer. I think since he's come in, he has developed the youth well. He's more or less given everybody their chances to express themselves, including the young players, of course, like he surely would do when he got appointed in as Man United manager. Solskjaer has brought consistency back in certain aspects. He has made good signings as Manchester United manager. So far, Solskjaer has signed 14 players. And he's endured 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager. Man United have spent over £400 million under the Solskjaer era. Ollie's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in, which he knew he had to do. He's loaned players out, he's got rid of a lot of players permanently. Some progress has been made under Solskjaer, because Solskjaer's got us to semi-finals. He got us to 3 semi-finals in his first full season. And last season he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and last season he got us to the Europa League final, and that was his first major final as Man United manager. But unfortunately, we didn't win it. We lost to Villarreal 11-10 on penalties. So there you go. And last season Solskjaer got us a second place finish, and in his first full season he got us a third place finish. We've been very good away from home as well in the league under Solskjaer. Don't forget, Man United went 29 games unbeaten away from home in the Premier League. It was Leicester that ended our 29 game unbeaten away run in the league. But Man United are far superior away from home in the league than they are at home. But Manchester United should be doing far better than they are. Because, you know, the board backed Solskjaer very well in the summer transfer window, and the board still continue to back Solskjaer now. You know, the Glazers are backing him, Ed Woodward's backing him, John Murtough's backed him, and Darren Fletcher has backed him. Plus, Man United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year, made 4 signings, 3 of them were major signings, and we spent around 141 million in the summer transfer window. And plus, Man United have got a very good squad. It's a title winning squad, so in reality Man United should be winning the Premier League this season, or at least competing for the league. Man United have not won the Premier League since 2013, and Solskjaer did mention at the start of this season that his ambition was to win the Premier League. So reflecting on what I've just said, Solskjaer has no more excuses. He ran out of excuses a long time ago. The reason we're not getting the best out of a lot of the players is because they're not playing as a team. They're a team of individuals, like a lot of pundits have spoken about. You've got the likes of City, Liverpool and Chelsea that all play as a team, and that explains why they're in a much better position than Manchester United at this moment in time. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.